Hey, yo, what's up, man? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Matchmaker. You know what I'm saying? Before I get started, I would like to ask you guys to hit the like button. If you on Facebook, if you on YouTube, make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe. Also hit the like button. But today, man, I got always as a special guest, my guy, man, who coming on here tonight to just to kick it with us for a little bit, talk a little bit of 7-on-7. Him being in a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying?
There you
For
go.
the IFL. We just gonna talk a little bit about everything. So yeah, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Appreciate you for having me. I've been
Yeah.
watching you, all the videos and the segments you've been doing, and I'm like, that's dope. And it's like, it ain't on the West Coast. We don't really got a lot of this type of stuff going on. So the attention and the way y'all been creative with helping the youth down south, I like it. It's dope.
That's crazy. Why don't y'all have a lot of these things going on the West Coast? I know he always gives me reasons, but he be selling wolf tickets, man. So I be trying to. I want to see if it's really those reasons.
I mean, I think it comes with. I mean, I think it's more like it's a different level of passion with the competitiveness down the south. I think on the West Coast, it's kind of I don't know, it's cool. You know what I mean? I think it's a cool thing. So I mean, I don't take away from the kids that work hard and that got a lot of talent, but it's just a different level of discipline and approach to it. So I
Okay.
think it's easier for people to create more of an atmosphere around it when all them teams and all them people so passionate. It's a different beast.
Hmm.
At least
Yeah.
in the youth. At
So
least in
that's
the
just
youth.
political, you know.
Yeah.
In mine, people just don't support. They a lot of people they don't take what other people are trying to do as serious as they should. And that's the main reason why somebody like me who's actually, building a buzz right within this youth realm, and I could still not get people wanting to support it. So it's more so people just feel like, they just don't want to support. They don't want to
I
support. And
agree with
that's the
that.
and that's the biggest reason. You know what I'm saying? Like with me, I when I first started, I told them, I say, look, man, I'm not looking for no money. I just want to be able to film them, film the kids, right? I said that all y'all got to do is subscribe to my YouTube page. That's all y'all have to do, and people didn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like,
Right.
okay, I'm gonna just go down south where people, you know what I'm saying, know how to show support and know how to show some love. And they seeing it. And even till this day, right now, right? I I I will be willing to go out there. It's just that, people don't see the value. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, the biggest platform out there right now is definitely supposed to be let's talk Sports Nation. He's
Right.
supposed to be the biggest guy out there. Why isn't he? For the reasons that I mentioned. So they're in their own way. Put it like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't put out footage, videos of the kids. They don't, what I'm saying, take the time to reach out to these platforms.
Mhm.
There's many things that's not being done that harms the kids. You see what I'm saying? So that's just me. I don't give political speeches. See,
This
my
dude,
guy
man.
right here, he's in a different space right now.
Okay.
So he got to be a
No,
little, you know what I'm saying?
I think it's a lack of support too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying
Mhm.
that like that's not a part of it. Like I'm in a position where you see my name and you think that, I don't need support and I got everything checked off and I don't need people to help. Like I need help. I need people that want to be there. Like I'm out there all the time. So I definitely feel you when you say it's just people don't want to support. They
Yeah,
look
and
at it
that's
like if I'm there, then sometimes they look at like you should be happy that they are bringing their kid to your program instead of them looking at your program like I'm happy that my kid get to be here, a part of this
Right.
program. Even if the kid is talented, that don't mean the kid is talented. I mean the kid is not good. I'll be the first. I'm a coach. I was a player. I got kids. Coaches as good as the players. You know what I mean? Like obviously there's things that we can evolve and change within the character of the person. But talent is talent. You know, like you see the schools in the national championship, they had all the 5 stars.
Right.
So it's not a trick to what the priority is with the talent. But I think there's a level of discipline and structure that they have to be willing to help. And that's where it come in. That is like, how's that gonna work?
Yeah.
Mm.
So today, because I would actually like for you to speak to this. I got pretty much cussed out, and I'm gonna do my its own segment because the person obviously don't know me. He said he gonna slap me once he sees me, and uh, he
Damn, you got
definitely
it
don't
going
know me.
like that.
He
Yeah,
got it
Damn.
going like that.
and so basically what it is, they're upset because on the flyer I put their son on there, and I'm just like, my whole reasoning is to give them exposure, right?
Right.
That's my sole reason. And this individual was pretty much upset at the fact
Was
that
it like a bad picture?
I wasn't following. No, it
Good
wasn't. It was
picture.
a good picture. He didn't like the fact I wasn't following him, and I didn't tag them, but I didn't know his IG.
Right.
Now, like I told him, I can remove it, which is what I did. I can definitely move it, but you start cussing me out, you start doing all this other stuff, and I just want you to speak to parents who curse coaches out, and then tell you that I don't need your help with his exposure because he's already known around the country. What would you say to anybody with a mindset like that?
Mm.
Um, that's interesting, but it happens a lot. What I will say is, as parents, our natural instinct is to protect our kids. I think that nowadays it's easy to misinterpret support with somebody trying to ride your coattails or somebody trying to benefit off of your child. Like, none of these kids are making money, enough money to. And I think that, yes, they may be talented, and yes, they might be the kids that all the teams, they trying to give them to come play for them. And I want you to come play for me. Like, I deal with it. I want kids to come play for my program. But I think it's a thing where parents got to realize that their kids gonna have to go through something regardless. Now, if your kids are being disrespected or mistreated or belittled and beat down, then okay, you know what I'm saying? Step in there and do what you got to do. But in a world of where we got cameras everywhere and everybody got social media and everybody got these pages and platforms where they're creating awareness for somebody, you gotta recognize that if your child is being able to be of service in those type of areas, then ask questions. Don't jump to conclusions because you never know where these people gonna end up. You never know if you're gonna
Right.
need these people to validate you. You don't know who they connected to make sure that they can stamp approval when it all matters. Because right now it's just about development. So don't stop the development too early and focus on the wrong shit. You know what I mean? Excuse my language, but I think it's a big issue right now with a lot of parents kind of, especially with NIL, is causing everybody to kind of, obviously you're gonna be guarded, but I think it's just a different level of like it's already like they're professionals, and it's like you definitely got to treat it as such, but it's a certain way where you still got to be old school with like you ain't, that money ain't enough money to last forever. The goal is still to get to the league, and it's just y'all got to be careful with that because it always come back around, especially when it's not coming from the right place.
And the cold part about this whole thing is I literally know all the people that he's saying that he's recruited by. So if we
Mm.
take that information and then present it to them, which I'm not going to do because the kid has nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
I just know that I talk to a lot of recruiters and they tell me, they said, look, man, I go to the actual game because what I want to do is I want to see how the player act, right? When
Right.
if they're down and nobody else is, what did he say? He said if the player is down, right? How do he pick up his teammates? Do he curse them out or do he tell them, "Hey man, look, we got this. We can do this. We can do that." And then the other thing they said that they would like to look at their parents so they can know what they're going to deal with. Right. So when I heard that, and it was like, I want to say about maybe 4 or 5 people that said it, right? That they go to the game so they can get a first hand, glimpse of the player and the parents. And
Right.
they said they have decommitted from several people due to the fact that they have parents that's uncontrollable. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
I can tell you, I have, man, I've been doing this now, man, I've been helping kids get to college since 2015, like, and, you got the 24/7, you got the rivals, you got all these people who do the rankings and they give kids these stars, and, sometimes it's valid, sometimes it's not, but a lot of the times you get parents who be like, my son better than him, and he a three
Right.
star, and he had 2 touchdowns on him. Like, why don't you watch my son film and rank him higher than that boy? Because we just beat them, and y'all said he was the best receiver, and or the quarterbacks especially. You know what I mean? The quarterbacks is the worst, and it's not like the kid's not good. It's not like the parents in the wrong mind frame, but you can't make it like you can't be hating on another kid to the wrong people. And
Right.
so when you badgering these people who are decision makers, like now they like me as a coach or somebody who got connections, they be like, our mom's already been following me, sending me messages or dad. Now they running from you. They literally running from the parents, and they don't even give a kid a chance because of the parents. And I know this has happened to at least 10 kids that I've personally dealt with who had opportunity and had ability, but their parents literally made it bad. Like they just drained it out. Like they made people not want to deal with them because of the parent. And so they don't tell you, they just ignore you. And then they tell me, you know what I'm saying? So I think just for all the parents, I know y'all hearts be in a good place, but man, just let it play out a little bit. Ask questions, but let it play out a little bit. Keep
Yeah.
keep
So
your ears to the door.
what ages do you cover when you're doing your training and stuff?
I mean, I got a 16-year-old son, I have an 11-year-old son, and I have a 6-year-old son. So I mean, I deal with all kids. I'm big on positive reinforcement and just building them up. So I don't focus on any particular age group. What I really do is quarterbacks, but ever since I stepped down from being a head coach, I've been big on empowerment. So right now our program is expanded. We got all the way from third grade to NFL players that just came through over the years, and we kind of just grow it as we go. So it's always going to be those guys that go take it to the highest level. And now we kind of started at third grade, and we kind of working to build on from there. So that's kind of how where we at right now. My biggest focus usually is the older guys. Is trying to get them to get ready for that next step. If they got goals and aspirations to go to college, then you're gonna be under my wing. You're gonna be in my team, and we're gonna be holding you accountable. We're gonna be, making sure you're doing the things you got to do and checking off them boxes. And if you're not doing it, then it's probably not gonna work out for you, and we probably gonna be, rerouting you. Or if you one of the ones that's willing to put the time in, we got you. But if you ain't trying to do what you got to do, then we gonna move on from you.
So
Do
when
you
do
do
you
you do
determine? Go
all
ahead. Go ahead.
football? Do you do strictly football? I see a little basketball in there. So is it strictly football or is it a little bit of both?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, a lot of it is just because I'm always helping family. So it always started with
Mm,
that, where I had a cousin who was good, and he was in Arkansas, and nobody knew who he was. And me being recruited from JUCO and kind of understanding how the grades what the college is looking for, I just took it upon myself to get his film done, gather his transcripts, and start emailing all the colleges, people I know, people I played against who was in college now. And luckily, I was a quarterback, so I knew every teammate. You know what I'm saying? Then I was a starter, so I knew people on other teams. And so me just my life story and the role I played and all the stuff I did kind of gave me more communication with people from a first name basis. So I would just call them and reach out, and they'd call me back, and I have everything ready from film to transcript to a picture to whatever they wanted to see. So it's like,
right.
after that, it's just like, okay, now it's like, who's calling me with this information? It's Houston Lillard. All my life, I know He always been a baller. He always been solid. He ain't never been no salesman. He a genuine, straight up and down dude. So I can take his word a little more serious. we know he know what it looked like. And so shit, I just started doing it like that, and he ended up going to the NBA, and
Wow.
now and so I kind of I built a lot of relationships through that, and obviously with my brother's career, I know every basketball coach. So if you got a chance, it's easy to connect it. I don't really dive too hard into it, because
Mhm.
basketball is not just my passion like that, and like it is with football with it. But if I see somebody who I think got a chance, I don't mind helping them out or giving them the information to see if they'll take it, and then we'll just go from there.
Coach, do you what difference do you see with football players nowadays? Maybe a little bit outside of the talent, because I think they're a little more talented than us. But what are some other aspects of these players nowadays that you see that's way different than when you played?
Like you said, I think the talent gap is tremendous. Like
Mhm.
these kids way more talented than us. They way
Yeah.
more skilled. They just better players, but
What about
um,
knowledge? Do you think they're more knowledgeable?
no, not at all. I think the knowledge of the game, the knowledge of the game, the understanding of what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Just they don't have as many reps as us. We go outside
Mhm.
and play all day. These kids don't go outside unless it's a scheduled workout. And so that's just right there to let you know how much more knowledge we had to, because every day we was playing. You play football 10 days in a row, you're gonna know somebody every move. They're gonna have to get creative.
Facts.
And we was playing all summer against the same people. Kendall I played Kendall 1-on-1 100 times.
Dang.
You know what I mean? Like so, it's like when you do that, you naturally develop a different level mentally and physically. And these kids just don't play a lot. But the talent level is better, and I think the biggest difference is the toughness. We came up with coaches who would literally whoop you
I
or
thought
make you
about that.
run
Yeah.
until you cried, and then your parents wouldn't even say nothing. Your parents wouldn't say nothing, and you would just be happy to be on the team. You was just happy to be there. And nowadays, it's like if I'm not starting, if I'm not the best player on the team, I don't want to be here. I can't. So I think the toughness and the unity in a team is a little different. But besides, I think the toughness is on our side, and on the youth, they just way more talented, which is why they don't have to be as smart. You know what I'm saying? Because they
Mhm.
just could do crazy stuff. But I think if the ones that we see kind of still, get those other lessons instilled in them by whether it's an uncle, a dad, a coach, or just being at the right type of program, even though they're talented, they still got 6 a.m. weights. They still got study hall. They still getting told what to
Mhm.
do at home. They still waking up early and going to sleep. You know what I mean? And just doing that, you start seeing those be the ones that kind of do that. They just become elite. You know what I mean? But um, yeah, that's kind of my point on that.
Okay. What about the recruiting process? Like I know you help the older kids navigate a lot of things. Have you found that to be more stressful for them? More difficult for them?
In what way? Difficult in what way? Like
Maybe just
in
maybe
regards
just
to
getting to school in regards to just getting to school, or like me, I have to talk to a lot of my boys about just understanding the difficulty of going to the biggest school that they want to the Power Five. Maybe sometimes tempering
yeah.
expectations. Do you ever
Uh,
gotta like kind of temper a kid expectations and be like, oh man, maybe you might want to look at this. You feel what I'm saying? Instead of this right here.
man, that's the struggle of my life. Like I think every kid think they supposed to go to Oregon. And I think the biggest thing you can do is show them, how people see them. And it's like you can't run away from what the eye in the sky says. So I try to get evaluations.
Hmm.
Anytime we got kids in denial, or they feel disrespected because I'm talking to them about Southern Utah. And he like, I want to talk about Arizona State. And I'll be like, all right, well, let me hit Arizona State offensive coordinator and see what he think about your film. And he says, he coach, I don't think he looks slow. How big is he? Yeah, does he hit the weight room? Somebody, you know what I mean? They're gonna hit me back with that thrax. And then I'm gonna show you. And then you're gonna be like, oh, well, I ain't,
Yeah.
I was, and so I try to be as transparent as possible, because
Mhm.
you don't know. I wasn't somebody who was supposed to be what I was, so I never just break them down and tell them they can't do something or it's not possible. But I think you got to get them as much proof as you can and being able to be evaluated. And that's where like somebody like me kind of comes into play as a benefit because I can call some of these dudes and be like, "Hey man, can you do me a favor real quick and just watch this film and let me know what you think." You know what I mean? And I got guys, that do that for me and take that 5 minutes out there in the evening or whatever just to be like, "All right, Hugh." And so that type of stuff is what I try to do, so I don't have to be like the asshole or the guy that's trying to belittle you or tell you that you're not what you are. I'm just gonna let you know what they think of you today. Now, if you do these things, these other things, you go start hitting the weights and running more and getting more reps at whatever your position is. Like, okay, you're gonna get better. Like, but that has to show up on the film. I can't tell them nothing else. So, and then it's like I don't talk to schools about nobody unless I got a transcript.
And you
Like if
know
I don't
what?
have a I don't
Yeah,
have a
I'm
transcript, I
glad you
don't even
said that.
call. I
I'm
don't even
glad you
call.
said that because we was literally just talking about because I was telling people, right? When it comes to this game, right?
Hmm.
First thing you gotta win is in the classroom. Then you gotta win in practice so you can get some playing time. Then once you win in practice, you can get in the game. And then if you work hard enough, you can win the game, right? But everything is preparation in levels. You see what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
a lot, and the fact that some people don't get that, right? And we were just talking about how the coaches allow the players to play even though he wasn't eligible. You know what I'm saying? Basically creating some sort of entitlement and just instability far as like the kid, thinking that okay, man, we can keep bending the rules for you. And it's
It's
not,
optional.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like those type of things. And then the fact that anybody would question what you're saying, especially being that, you know, uh Dane basically with somebody that went to a Weber State. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Something that somebody would look at, a school that somebody would look at like, oh, I can't make it there. And it's not about that. It's about your work ethics, your
That's a fact,
preparation,
man.
how
That's
you
a fact.
performing, all those things. And so
Consistency.
you're right. So you are the perfect person to say that. And not only that, you were one of the first people, right, to play, in the IFL league and stuff like that or whatever. And nobody probably still to this day can tell you how to go about doing that. If you
Mm-mm.
don't make it to the league, how do I go about playing in one of those type of
Mm.
leagues? You know what I'm saying? People don't have the understanding of, it's either NFL or nothing for them.
Right. How
Right.
do how do I get there?
Yes. How do you get there? So
And
what was
those be them resources. Go
mm-hmm.
ahead.
Now I was about to say, like, so what what put that on your radar? Like, was there somebody that told you about the league, or you know what I'm saying? Like, how did
Well,
that come
you
about?
it's kind of crazy story. Well, we from Oakland, so that we had the San Jose SaberCats, and one of my friends that I grew up with, he had signed with the San Jose SaberCats, and so he's like, "Bud, I signed Arena Football," and I'm like, "Man, you playing that?" He like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Man, I'm making 70,000." I say, 70,000. I said, "What? As soon as I finish school, I'm coming to be on your team. I know I can play. If y'all got that old ass quarterback." And there's
Yeah.
no disrespect, but it was a dude named Mark. I think it was Mark Greed. I don't know. He the greatest of all time in arena, but he was like 40 years old. So I'm just looking at him like some old dude, but he was killing. And I'm like, I know if he out there killing, I go crazy. And so I ended up, finishing school. In the year I finished, the AFL folded. They was paying them dudes too much money. They had folded, and so um, they ended up starting Arena Two, and I took a year off, and then they started having trials. So I went to LA to a workout for the Spokane Shock, and I ended up making like top five for out of the quarterbacks. It was like 40 quarterbacks there, and then they ended up calling me and just was like, "Man, we liked you a lot. We just don't feel like you're tall enough." It was like we don't know if you could throw in the center. And I was like, "Man, I've been playing quarterback this height all my life. Like, you ain't see my film. I'm on the center." I'm like I'm pushing back. Like, what you mean? I'm not tall enough. I just played 3 years Division I football. Like, I'm gonna get it done, you know. And so they ended up not taking me, but they liked me enough to where they called the old coach, and he was in a different league, the IFL, and he was like, I think your skill set to fit this league a little better. And so they called the coach and tell him, we had a guy here, really liked him, blah blah blah. So coach like, send me a film. So I sent him my film from my senior year. He called me back 5 minutes later and was like, send me your email. I got a contract for you.
Mm.
So he sent me the
Mm.
contract. I called my dad and I'm like, Dad, I think I got a contract. He like, send it to me. So I sent it to my dad. He's like, yeah, they trying to sign you. So I'm like, bet. So I end up signing it. I get out there and it's like we got training camp in a barn. So I'm like, what the hell did I just come to?
What?
Like we in a barn. The ceiling is 35 feet. I can't throw no deep balls. Like, but it was just training camp. So it was just the first week because of the arena.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know the arena was, they got to pay. If we practice in there, that's like a $5,000 practice.
Mm.
They got to get the turf down. They got to set up the field. So we wasn't really practicing in there like that during training camp until the season started, so they could keep the field down. Man, I ended up getting in there, and the starting quarterback got hurt. I made the team. Starting quarterback got hurt in like the third game. Coach put me in. I had like 5 touchdowns in the second half. And after that, I just took off.
So what was the pace like? Because it looked like you got to be a little bit more quicker.
Fast. That's
Yeah,
fast, bro.
right.
It's real
Yeah,
fast.
yeah. It seemed like
My
the
best
pace is quick.
my best comparison is like playing in the middle of the street. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You got the car right there, and it's like in the middle of the game, but that's where the
Okay.
lady parked at. And it's like that's how the wall is. So you gotta have awareness without looking. And then the fans is all on the field and it's loud and it's always a away game. I mean the timing is they blitzing every play. It's just different, bro. But it's just like playing in the middle of the street. I think that was the best comparison for me.
Mm.
Um, so it's just like either you scared or you're not. I think a lot of it had to do with just being having fear because you was always at a disadvantage in some form just based on the rules how the game was. It's like, oh, you can't. The defensive ends can drop back. Oh, they can drop all the linemen back, but we can't run until you know what I mean. Like it just be weird stuff, bro. So just being able to be ahead of the play was a big deal, and so just I was always short. Me, I'm only 5'10", 5'11", so. My coaches always made sure I knew how to read coverages and have good pre-snap read. So I would lead a huddle and just we'd line up and I'd look at the cover, I'd look at how they lined up and I would almost know what they was in 80% of the time. So for me, it was always on. I was always coming off my first read to my second read, making a play, like because I knew it if they took it away, what I need to do.
All right. So
Mm.
I got. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, so just hearing all that, man. So this past weekend before we came on, we were talking about how you went to a tournament this previous weekend.
Uh,
When you guys leave, because you left Cali, you left California, right? Did you say you was in Utah?
when recently?
Yeah.
No, I just was in. I was just in Seattle.
Okay, Seattle. All right. So
Yeah,
when
and I'm
so
in
when you
Portland
do
right
leave
now.
Cali, when you do leave Cali, do you feel that people look at y'all a certain way? Because sometimes people think Cali ball kind of soft, man. So
Well, I think Cali is. I'm in Oregon right now.
okay.
I'm in Portland, but Cali is definitely. Hopefully, people don't think that no more because modern day
Hmm.
out here going crazy. Bosco out here going crazy. My climate's. California got some strong schools right now, so I don't think technically it's soft. I just think it's a more of a skill based game. There's not a lot of brute power and just
Hmm.
smash mouth football. You see a lot of passing. You see a lot of good route running. You see a lot of speed. You know what I'm saying? On the West Coast, it's
Hmm.
more about it's like different. But I don't know, man. I think the evolution of the game is just changing. I think it's real balanced everywhere right now. If anything, I think California might have the best team in the country. So we're just gonna have to see. We got to set up the game.
All right. So it's a player out there, man. Lamarion Jones, man. I seen that that you pretty much took a liking to him. Is there any college in particular that you see him being at, and what would it take for him to get there?
Lamarion Jones. Lamarion Jones is a 2025 defensive lineman. I'll say he could play O line too, but I think he's a D lineman all day. About 6'4", 240 at El Cerrito High School in Richmond, California. I like him a lot. I've known Lamarion all his life. His dad is one of my good friends. All their brothers, all their cousins, everybody, we locked in for a lifetime. So as he got older, I always kept my eyes on him. And obviously, with me doing what I've been doing, as I seen him kind of turning the corner, I just wanted to kind of support him and just kind of communicate and see where he was at, and his recruiting. And he's a perfect example, actually, of how this portal is messing kids up because he was getting recruited really hard last spring and the summer, and then it's like that window of like all these rules changing and schools, wanting to see kids and you're not coming, and then transfers and all of that, and they're giving kids the year back. Now they're not really looking for high school kids that's not a 4 star. Or if you're not already ranked at a certain level, then they're like, okay, we can hold off on this kid. We can hold off. They kind of looking for the fix right now. So I think I could see him, at a Big Sky school, a school like Portland State, Idaho State, Cal Poly, even Sac State, somewhere in the Big Sky right now. I think his potential is much higher. But just with the way things are going, I think the Big Sky, somewhere in the FCS, is where he probably will land. And then I could see him 2 years down the line being an impact player somewhere um, early. So,
I definitely gotta ask this question. Being that if you play 2 years in college, JUCO, and
mhm,
you still able to get those 2 years back, right?
right.
Do you feel like more people are going to actually try to go JUCO first, and
I'm,
then
I mean, that's actually a really good question because I played in JUCO, so I'm a huge JUCO advocate. I think people are scared to go JUCO, and I think the fear is the unknown. They don't look at it as an opportunity to get out. But on my JUCO team, we had 37 dudes go D1. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what these other schools was doing, but we got out. And so I think if you go to the right situation, I definitely go JUCO. If I'm a kid who already know like I got the ability, I'm physically ready, I go to JUCO and I could play. And I'm like any other year, I'm a kid who would have had a scholarship. I'm going JUCO and I'm gonna try to go be an All American.
and that's what I'm
And,
looking at. I'm like, okay, well,
and
if
it's
you
like now I got the whole country trying to come get me, and I'm still got 4 years left. I had a chance to play, and I got developed. It's like they saying basically JUCO is gonna become the mind. Well, JUCO is gonna be the place. They're gonna some of them gonna fall off, but it's gonna be them real good ones that's gonna be able to sustain and get people out because everybody gonna be coming to see what they're gonna get. Still, it's a lot of good talent out here right now that's sitting at home because of the portal, and so it's gonna be a stockpile of real good kids somewhere they probably shouldn't be, whether that's Division 2 or JUCO. I just think when you go Division 2 or Division 3, I got nothing against it. But if you're a kid who's like aspirations is to transfer from a D2, like you have no plans on being there longer than 2 years, then you probably should just go JUCO. Because ain't nobody coming to look at you in D2 if you're not an All American. Or unless you got exceptional speed or exceptional size or exceptional strength or a combination of the two.
yeah,
If
man,
you got to develop
it sound like D2 is gonna be on the limb. You know what I'm
D2
saying?
cool, but it's like you might get lost in the sauce. You might be stuck there 3 years. It might be graduating and it might be over. Like it's a toss up. It's all about the person at that point because you're gonna have to be a little more self motivated. They're not gonna have the meal plan and they're gonna have all the training rooms and the great weightlifting program and there's some, you know what I mean? There's gonna be less resources and less of that stuff that develops you. So it's gonna be on you like it was in high school a little bit more. And people ain't getting to college to still be doing that. So
The main thing I do not like about the portal, I'm all for, the kids being empowered. I'm all for it. But the part that I don't like is it trickled down to youth football. You got a lot of parents that's going from team to team, and it's not even like they finishing the season. They're just going from team to team. If you're able to go to another team before they set that deadline, then they're gonna probably be at 2 or 3 teams in that one season. And it's
That's
like,
crazy. They let people do that
bro, yes. It was all last
in the
year
middle of this in the middle of the season.
in the middle of the season. If you meet the deadline
I
before they
never heard
actually,
that. I never seen that before.
yeah. So if so let's say the deadline is September 1st.
Hmm.
You can go to as many different teams as you want to, and you had a lot
Before
of
September 1st.
yes. Now
Yeah, that's
after
cool.
after anything after September 1st, then you got to stay on that team wherever you at that moment. But I didn't see parents take their kids from this team, right? Oh, this team look like they gonna win it. Let me take them to there. Let me do this. Let me do that. And it's like it's the message for the kids for me. If we talking about the portal now, people just leaving, you know what I'm saying? Like what is his name? Carmani McClain. If like you leave, but then you talk about you want to come back, possibly, you know what I'm saying? So you leave from Colorado, then you go to what is it, Florida? Is it Florida? I think Florida.
Yeah, he went to
And
Florida.
yeah, then you don't get the burn that you thought you was gonna get. Now you want to go to another. Nah, bro. I think in the portal it should be a 1 or 2 time minimum.
Yeah, I think it should probably be a one time.
A one
If
time.
I had a, I feel like everybody should get one freebie, and then the second one got to be like a, you got to have a real reason. Like my coach got fired, or my coach quit and left, like, or or some stuff that outside of sports that ain't none of our business, but you got proof. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think everybody should deserve one chance. It get tricky, bro, because the coaches can leave whenever they want, and so like they're not holding at this point. Like it gotta have some balance between the players and the coaches because everybody getting paid now. So just like y'all firing and hiring people to get a new job and they getting paid and losing money, like y'all paying us now, and now that's why they like these scholarships. They can kick people off the team now.
Right. Yeah.
These 1 year deals. This ain't no. We don't like what we got going. We're gonna tell you this ain't the place for you.
And then I heard about the people that actually go into the portal. When you go into the portal, you lose the option of your scholarship. That's
Yeah,
that's
you
one thing. That's one thing I heard.
yeah you forfeit your scholarship immediately. You
That's crazy.
basically you basically just throw yourself out the airplane and then wait for somebody to come give you a parachute before you hit the ground in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
But I mean, it's not if you talk about it with the right people before you enter the portal. I think you will have a better idea of what you should do. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people. So I mean, I won't say a lot. I think some people, when they do get in the portal, it's an emotional decision. You know, and even though it is an emotional situation, you still got to think logically because you walking away from a free education without knowing you got another one. So it's like, how can I bridge the gap with finding out finding out more insight on if I got other opportunities, if somebody else interested, some of these schools that used to recruit me before I signed here, see if how do I figure out if some of them coaches wondering how I'm feeling. Like don't just get up in there. You better put some fillers out there, something like. And they just be getting in there thinking that just because they was good in high school, that's 2 years ago. You ain't played in 2 years. Ain't nobody thinking about you like that no more. No disrespect, but it's just not the same. It ain't hitting like that. So now they wondering why. And if they gonna call the coaches, and the coaches, if you was acting crazy, they gonna be like, yeah, man, he ain't no good. He late all the time. He complaining every time he get coached up. Can't catch. Tore his hamstring last spring. Ain't been the same since. And it's like it's over. Now you're in the portal and you're gonna end up at Bethune Cookman. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, so I've seen, all this stuff that transpire. Like I say, man, parents, some coaches, right, don't have the pull that because I always tell people when you go before you go to a school, make sure that the system that they run, it actually benefits you. Make sure that your coach also have some sort of relations with other colleges, because if nobody knows you, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be hard for you to get the exposure and stuff like that. So I try to tell these young men just to be more aware, more alert. I try to tell these parents, listen, you should be treating this as a business. These babies can be getting NILs right now, right? There's no
Hundred
limitation.
percent.
The only thing, the only thing about it is a lot of them don't know business. So the fact
Yeah,
that they don't know business, you know what I'm saying? They just hoping that their son make it to the NFL, right? And really don't have no plan. And the one thing that I've seen over the years is the best kid in youth football does not always turn out to be the best kid in high school. So
at
you
all.
maximize your opportunities. So I be trying to tell parents, these type of things, but a lot of times when we giving information, they don't want to show up. They show up to, what I'm saying, anything else. But when we talking that information, they don't want to show up. A lot of people just don't want to know. It's like I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? But do you
Yeah.
experience um a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, that you give information to not taking, what I'm saying, not taking that into consideration or to heart if it ain't what they
Uh,
want to hear.
I want to say not taking it to heart. I think a lot of I think I'm in a unique situation, right? Like obviously, like I'm like a rare like only person that can kind of like like for me to be hand and feet that can say they've kind of seen what I've seen in the world of like sports and entertainment. That's doing any 7-on-7 or that's been a high school coach. Like I was a high school head coach too, but it's like I've been around an NBA career for the last 13 years that you dream about. So I've been at All Star Weekend 10 times. I've been around so many uh, marketing companies, and I've been in hundreds of meetings where people was offering deals or trying to get deals done or renegotiating. I've seen these things be done. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you ask me questions and you got any aspirations to be in this entertainment or sports world, or you want to get a scholarship, or you want to make money, or you want an endorsement deal, and I give you information and an answer and something to do, and you don't take my information um, seriously, then you crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm
Co-
saying? And that's where it's like, I think for the most part, people I deal with, they know where I come from, and they know like, like I'm being genuine with them. So I think for the most part, if I offer that information, because I don't just fill that gap with unless I think people are in that position, but they usually kind of take it. They don't always follow through with whatever I suggest, um, but they usually respond pretty well.
Coach,
So
do you feel like the goal to get an education has changed to literally let's just get a bag? Or do you think there's still a lot of kids that really kind of still want to go to school and just, you feel what I'm saying? Because, I think a lot of times what I kind of deal with a lot is every kid think they can make a millie. You feel what I'm saying? That first year. Or every
Right.
kid wants to make the Shador Sanders money off rip, right? And I'm like, hey man, like you gotta work up to those type of things, right? And I'm kind of starting to see a lot of kids who don't really even care about going to school to kind of get the freeness of the education part no more.
Yeah. I think that's becoming, and it's a balance, right? Like you're gonna have those dudes, those big time guys who like, they think they the shit, and they probably, 6'4", 200 pounds, running fast, jumping high, and aggressive, and they probably got all of that. But I think it's that when your goals and your heart ain't in the right place and your mind frame, something always happen. You feel me? It's like it just don't work out the same for the long term. But I think this world, this generation, they come up with they all got opportunities to make money. They all got all these resources around them from TikTok to social media, and they know how to make way more money than us. So
Right.
they like if I can go to college and make 200,000, I can graduate or I can start a business with this 200,000 and play a couple like they actually can decide they making enough money to do something right, or if they smart, they can, they on scholarship. So ride this out. I'm gonna still get this scholarship. I'm gonna finish these classes. I'm gonna save this money. I'm gonna build my credit. I'm gonna buy me a house before I graduate. When I leave, I'm gonna rent it out to some of these new players coming in. I'm gonna go off on the world and I'm gonna buy me another one. I'm gonna have a 750, 800 credit score because I've been on scholarship getting 200,000 on the side for the
Yep.
last, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they get out like that, then they could do it. But it's like, it goes back to what I said earlier. It's like, what type of people you surrounding yourself with? Like, what is your supporting casual like? Because if it's me, I'm gonna tell you that proven method. You feel me? You get this money, hey, this is what you need to do. And everything I'm telling you is stuff that I know is getting done by people who make a lot of money and make it last. Now, if you don't want to listen, that's on you. But this is what you're supposed to do,
All
especially
right,
while
so
you in school with no kids. You feel me?
all right, so for some of them that actually, because I know a couple that's going to the league for sure.
Right.
So for those that actually going to the league,
Hmm.
what advice would you give them? What is some of the preparation that you would say, hey man, you should look out for this. Make sure you don't do this and make sure you don't do that. What
I
would those
just,
words be?
I would say, I mean, the biggest thing I think is why, and this is just from me, from my experience from seeing it, is take your time. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes, it's the most exciting moment of your life, and they just, they ready to jump straight into the lifestyle. And it's like, I think if you can force yourself to jump into the work first, like make your first year about jumping into the work. Like, don't be thinking about buying your first house. And, you know what I'm saying? Figure it out. You ain't gotta, because you don't know how long you're gonna be there. So figure out whatever you're gonna do, but
Right.
like make sure that you are the best athlete that you're supposed to be. And then everything else, your endorsements and all of that stuff is gonna fall into place. But like, do your job. Like if I say anything, like I see my brother, like I know why he's still in year 13, scoring 30 whenever he want. It ain't cause he's trying to. He done made 600 million in his career, and he ain't walking around here trying to figure out his fastest way to go buy this and buy that. He wear these same Adidas sweatsuits. You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't putting on. When he walk to the tunnel in the game and all that, he gonna put his shit on. But like he ain't out here splurging trying to look good for nobody because he want people to know he dang with money. Like I got money, and he's still going 3 times a day. He working on his everything he doing. It's the same like it was in the draft process. It might not be as strenuous, but it's the same intent. And I
Hmm.
think that's why he's still approaching it the same. That's why he's still one of the ones that's still dominating at about to be 35. Like it's because his intent is the same. His approach is the same. He's making the main thing the main thing. No matter how much money he got, no matter how many women wanna, no matter what he going through with his family or whatever, he still got to do his thing. And that's what the discipline he gave himself from the beginning. So I think that when you first start, that's your freshest form of yourself, and you need to, develop them habits. In the first 2 years, you need to be locked in. So when you get that real bag, you don't fall off.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? Because you ain't made no money yet. So don't start acting like you living. Take care of what you need to take care of. Definitely be comfortable, but just lock in longer than just give yourself that probational year. And I think that'll help them a lot. Just because it automatically buys you another year. Because if you're doing everything you're supposed to, you know it's hard for you to get cut down when they didn't drafted you or
Right.
and gave you a signing bonus and you went in, showed up every day, taking them vitamins they tell you to take, eating them little meals. I don't care if you got money to go sit down somewhere else, take the food and eat it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
just follow the protocol and then watch what happened to you, and then they're gonna believe in you and they're gonna be ready to invest in you. They're gonna see you mature enough to be a businessman and you making the main thing. You ain't around here and got 5 different cars and a big ass 38 chains, and you know what I mean. Like I'm telling you,
Fellas.
they judging you. They
And they
judging you.
upselling the brand.
Yeah, and then and this is the coldest part, and I can say this because I'm speaking to myself. Like the people that you with, your cousins, your brothers, your uncles, whoever it is, like, make sure they carry themselves correctly. Like you can have your people with you, but I know I was the biggest concern for my brother when not for him, but for the organizations. Like they wanted to know what's up with your brother. He got his beanie on, you know what I mean? I know he went to college here, said he had a DUI. Like they want to know what type of people you're around. They want to know like, oh, he's sagging all the time. So make sure they looking accordingly. They ain't gotta be crazy. If they doing anything, make sure they not walking in no buildings loud. You know what I mean? When they
Mhm.
at the game, have your drink, but don't get too drunk. Because they sitting there watching you, and if they see you acting crazy at the game, they're gonna be like, okay, so we can't give him the max deal. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? Like we can't. We don't know if we could give him the max yet. You know what I mean? Like that's how deep it get, and I can say that from personal experience. It's like I know, like, okay, I gotta tighten up. And you see me, it's like, okay, now I need to dive into what I'm doing after I play. I'm a coach, I'm a mentor. Like this is what my passion is. And it's not like, I'm gonna still hang out and do my thing, but like my focus, it can't be misleading. It can't be in the air. It has to be clear cut. And so it's because I represent more than myself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. And that's why I made the statement earlier.
yeah,
You
yeah, I
know,
represent more than myself. So don't, for y'all cousins and brothers, don't take it personal. I had to learn too. Like I can't do certain stuff. I can't wear certain stuff. I can't be certain places at certain times when certain things is going on because of who I am and what I'm connected to. And that's the fortunate, unfortunate part about being a part of this blessing. And I'm not the person with the bag. I'm just somebody that's along for the ride in a sense, right?
Right.
But at the same time, they judging me because they know I got influence, And so the people that's with the person is the ones that's really being watched the hardest because they know that we the ones that can move that needle left or right. So just make sure the people around you, if they, buy them all a belt and make it a point to be like, hey, wear your belt. You know what I'm saying? I swear to God, there's gonna be something that's gonna make a big difference because they watching, like in a real way.
so
So that's what I would say.
I know that, as the bigger brother or whatever, you've always been very protective of Dame. Always,
Hmm.
right?
Always, yep.
Um, even when this dude was like the one that went to the gym, the only one at the sideline, you doing
Right,
your thing, just watching him from afar, right? Always been very protective.
right.
Is that still the case? Meaning that like Dame was super quiet, right? He
Hmm.
was he was super quiet, and a lot of times you will be his voice. Or is it still like that? Like when it comes to
Uh,
certain situations,
I mean, I think my presence is more like I'm just like kind of like that fly on the wall. He's definitely grown into someone who can speak, who will speak up and all of that stuff. He's still quiet, like, but it's more like he won't entertain nonsense quiet. It's not like I won't say what I gotta say. So he's definitely more outspoken. And he know how I'm gonna get down. He know me. He know I'm always paying attention and just watching the surroundings. He just know that my presence is like I always got his best interest. I got his back, and I'm gonna watch. I'm watching everybody. I'm watching the people that's probably with us. You know what I mean? Like
right? Right.
he just know I'm just gonna always have his back, and I'm gonna be protecting him whether he need it or not, or whether he think he got it. I'm gonna be here to make sure. So, but as far as that other stuff, bro, he a big dog now, so he ain't been in rooms I ain't been in. So he kind
Hey,
of, he
he's
driving the
still
car.
he's still my little guy,
You used to be talking crazy today.
Hey
man. What do you
man, so
mean?
just
It's
tell us the truth, man. Can this dude really play basketball, man?
Yeah,
Can
he
can
can.
Ken really play basketball?
100%. One of the best
Oh
shooters.
my
One of the best
god.
shooters. One of the best shooters you probably know.
Oh my, please don't say that. All the
hey,
followers, he
see,
never
Hey, I
said
ain't I
that.
ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie.
Now he on his hating horse. You're not a
Man,
high horse,
hey,
his hating
I
horse.
ain't gonna lie though. He wasn't no athlete now. He wasn't jumping and doing
Hey, no, not at
he
all.
wasn't doing nothing else, but he
Uh-uh.
was crafty. He was crafty. He got a good change of pace and he had a real knockdown. Like a real knockdown.
You just
Like
ruined
Now
my
he was
week.
a shooter. You know what I'm
You
saying?
just
Rip Hammer's
ruined
a
my
sniper.
week. You just
Yeah, he is
ruined
a
my
you say I
week.
sniper.
ruined this week, but yeah, man, I definitely appreciate you. I definitely appreciate you coming on, man. I could have asked you 1,000 more questions, but this dude, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted him to get just like a brief understanding of who you are and some of the stuff that you do or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
I
But
appreciate
let,
it, bro.
do let me know, how can we be of assistance though? How can we help you? Because you said
Uh,
you said something that was very key. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like, okay, yes, I'm who I am. However, I still need help. You know what I'm saying? And we want to, fill that void,
in a way, I'm just when I say that, I'm just speaking. I got my program. We've been doing it now for 7, 8 years. We got a nonprofit. I deal with a lot of kids who obviously, we affordable opportunity. So I'm always going above and beyond to help create opportunity for others, or I'm always willing to bridge a gap. You know what I mean? But it's like it's either gonna be on me or it's gonna be on what we're doing. So I think it's always just it's a bigger picture to what's really going on. You know what I mean? It flows, but it's a lot to it. So just bringing awareness to what's going on, bro. That's really what it is. I did just start doing. I did just start a management company last year when Dame got traded. I started a management company just because I was helping a lot of my kids that I was sending to college with their NIL stuff and just negotiating or helping make sure they had attorneys look over if schools don't be having contracts. So that's kind of what I've been doing now, just kind of using this method, helping kids who ain't got people to protect them, especially in football. They don't have as much need for protection like basketball players. They deal with way more stuff outside of the game. So they don't really understand, what it's supposed to look like. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I've been kind of doing that and helping a lot of people and just kind of
Yeah, because I think
cut corners for them because they just taking a check and chilling. They don't realize what they really doing. And so I've been slowly working my way into that, but I'm still on the field. So I've been dealing with a lot of my kids that I sent that's been transferring and doing stuff and helping them out and getting them situated with their business stuff.
right. I had a lady on here. She's an attorney, and
Okay.
for the NILs, right? So she gave information, some valuable information. Now, this is when I say, although they did have like maybe like 6,000 people that watched the thing, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that one should have been the most watched one because she was giving valuable information. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? She was literally answering any question that somebody like they asked her. And
Right.
she was saying, like, make sure when you get them NILs, make sure taxes you putting aside some of those taxes because they think that it's money because you might get it in a 1099 form or something like that you ain't got to pay no
Uh-huh.
taxes. You feel what I'm saying?
Shit. Yeah, you least, and so I give all the kids a suggestion on, and I say a suggestion because it's their choice. It's not I can't make you do nothing, but I just suggest them on a percentage of the money to put away, just so they can be prepared for the taxes, and then in that meantime, we're gonna try to figure out ways to keep some of that money in your account, so you ain't got to give it all away. You find write-offs and find different ways to help you bridge that. But yeah, bro, them taxes will get them. They think they get if you get 500,000, you might as well make that 375.
Mm-hmm.
And just
Definitely.
call it 375 until you figure out the rest, because they're gonna take 100 at least
And
30, 20 to 30% gone.
Thanks.
but then here's the gem in that though. If you're operating right as your own entity, and or if you trademark your name or whatever, right?
Hmm.
And you get this in that LLC or whatever you did, to make you a business, then you can you can definitely find many tax write-offs, right? To where you
Hmm.
ain't got to pay that what you say put aside
That
that
20, that 20, 30% of your
yeah,
500.
right. So, and that's the thing too. People got to understand those methods like tax
Mhm.
write-offs. They got to understand just taxes in general. They got to understand setting aside money, right? Investments and all these other things. Because
But
people
that's the
think,
stuff I be helping them with, bro, because I know what they be doing for Dame. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right,
I literally know exactly what they be doing for them. So that's where I'm like, they don't be doing that. They don't. I asked a couple people, and they're like, nah, man, I just be, these kids getting their money, and they just getting the money. They don't even have, some of them don't have contract. And some of these schools be like 360 deal. So
oh
you owe them. So
wow,
it's a loan. It's not even the money. It's a loan. And so it get tricky, bro. And they getting better at it. But I know if schools ain't, I'm just moving a little different with it. I ain't gonna say too much,
right. All right, so
but
last
it's
question for me. So you got like you got your 707 team. And are you just dealing with people that's regional, or are you accepting other players that's from different states?
so in the beginning we used to be national, and then we had developed our program and started developing a little more when we start getting younger kids. So we start having feeders. Where seventh grade turned to eighth grade turned to ninth grade, and now we got like kids that came through the program who are where we want them to be a little bit. But
Mhm.
excuse me, we do take kids from out of state. You know what I mean? I think especially moving forward, we about to get back national just because of the way the pendulum is swinging. It's like we got a lot of resources. You know what I mean? We got Adidas sponsorship. We definitely wanted more. We well taken care of as far as how we present ourselves. And that's where it's like I know those. We need to be. I want the best kids. I want the kids who really want to take it serious. I want the kids who really got a passion to be the best and be, supported the right way. So I know after this year, even moving forward, I think we looking forward to that. So yeah, man, we taking kids from other places. Just got to make sure it makes sense. We don't want nobody breaking the bank, and we not breaking the bank either. So
Right,
it got to make sense, and it got to work for both sides. But I'm usually particular when that on that type of stuff because I don't like dealing with. I don't say I don't like, but I'm not the type to like kiss no butt or
Hmm.
obviously I think if a kid is talented, I'm a want to value his abilities and I'm a want him to value the resources that we can offer and bring and as a unit. But at the same time, I want you to respect the game, respect yourself, respect me and your family because I'm gonna treat you and I'm gonna hold you accountable. You know what I mean? It's gonna be all the real stuff. It ain't gonna be no come out here and just have it your way. But at the same time, we're gonna get paid. We're gonna get right. So um, I just be wanting to know. I usually would deal with more people like some of my old teammates I played with in college. In Missouri or Florida or Texas or even Georgia. And so it's just always a connection from somewhere. It's never just a kid I just randomly seen and was like, hey man, you want to play? It's like, it's one of my linemen, head coach over here, and he got a dude he want to play for me. So
Hmm.
it'd be stuff like that. But
yeah.
I'm
If it's youth
definitely interested.
football, if it's youth football, now I'm gonna be honest with you. I got a lot of young bulls, man. That's in high school, but mostly like we deal with the youth. So
That's
like
right.
we keep up with, what I'm saying, with the top players. But yeah, bro, whatever, what I'm saying, we can do
With the
that.
youth, we might do a camp or something. Probably do a camp. I don't know.
Okay. But yeah,
How
man,
that
appreciate
sound,
you,
bro?
brother. And
All right.
I definitely keep people aware of what it is that you got going. Do you usually post it on your live?
Sometimes on my story.
Okay. I just
My
make sure I
story be pretty
share it,
active.
bro.
For sure,
But
yeah.
I
man, hey
appreciate
man, appreciate you again for for coming on, man.
So,
You know what I'm
you. I
saying?
appreciate you,
For
man.
y'all, you can go, but for y'all that listen to this, it's a lot of gems that he dropped, bro. If you
yeah.
don't,
I mean, the
I
only
don't
thing
know.
I didn't like is he said Ken can play basketball.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you though. That's
Ah,
what I will tell you. It hurt, trust me. It hurt. But yeah, he got some game though. I don't know what he looking like now, but he
It's
probably
the
still can
same.
shoot though.
Hey,
He said
hey,
it's the
range
same.
still got NBA range, my guy. Still
Man,
got it. I
I was
just
just
had
in
to,
Detroit.
yeah, I just had to play somebody else, man. They was beating your guy up, man, and they all was big. So I said, damn, I haven't played since though.
Well, he went out.
Nah, I still won, but yeah, it kind of hurted
I
in
can't
that
even hear
victory,
y'all.
man. But
oh no, we still hear you.
yeah, we still
We
hear
can,
you.
yeah.
But hey, man, appreciate you, bro. Go ahead and enjoy the rest of your night, man. I think
Yeah, my
Yeah,
muted.
yeah, it's all good, bro.
I think his audio ain't working for him.
Yeah, we good. I just
But, but yeah, man, Ken, I ain't gonna lie, man, that pains me, man.
it does.
Oh man, it pains me that you can play ball, man.
Hey,
It
bro.
pains me, dog. Like you don't understand how bothered I am that you can play some damn basketball, man. I don't want you to be good at nothing.
I know,
Nothing.
bro. I see why though, because I beat you at everything.
I'm
Hey,
saying,
look, I remember, right? I remember. Uh, it was this guy, right? And I was I was beating him. I beat him in tennis. I beat him in pool. Right. I beat him at when we went to the batting cage, and he was a person that was supposed to be going to the MLB. Right. He's supposed to be going to the major league. He had his training camps and all that stuff or whatever. Right. And literally, bro, we at the batting cage, we at the 80s, I think the 80 miles per hour. So I hit all my balls, bro. And not just that, I switch hit on him. Bro, he was so mad. So one day we end up being on a basketball court, right? And keep in mind, every time we play, I'm always beating him. We always win. My team always beat him. He got on my team, and he was happy. He was happy
no,
that
Kevin
we
Durant.
lost.
Yeah.
He was happy that we lost.
Oh, that's y'all like.
This man literally told me. He looking at me, right? He just smiling, right? And I say, what the hell is he smiling at? He was like, I don't care. I don't care that we lost, as long as you don't win.
You
I said,
didn't
what
win.
the
You
fuck?
didn't win. This was
Hey,
that was
still
my
my
brother.
friend. I said, what in the hell?
That's my brother. Me and him got to be related because he
That's
didn't want you to
crazy. He didn't
win.
care. He didn't care that he lost. He
Long as
his
you
hatred,
did.
his hatred towards me in winning outweighed him wanting to win.
That my cousin, fool. That
Man,
gotta
he
be my
ain't your
cousin.
cousin. Nah,
That
he
gotta
ain't
be
your
my
cousin.
cousin.
He definitely ain't your cousin. But yeah, man. I just I was a little shocked, bro. I was a little shocked. I said, damn. No wonder, bro, you missing every shot. You missing layups. You miss,
Yeah,
bro,
it be your
just
own
so
teammate.
he can see me lose.
Mm-hmm.
And
It be
he
your
was
own
happy, bro.
teammates.
You know what I'm saying?
For
But
sure.
yeah, nah, bro. Like, bro, our section, to be honest, man, the one thing that he didn't touch on, bro, is that in where we from, you know what I'm saying? Like, you either in the streets or you either try to play basketball, bro.
No.
Unfortunately, we end up doing both. But still, it's like you want like you want to stay out of trouble. So we like, bro, we live, slept, you know what I'm saying? Like always in the gym. always, bro. And then like even when we had practice and stuff like that, it was at the same gym. So all we had to do is go outside. You know, the dynamites and all that practice was right there, same facility in a place called Brookfield Gym. You know, so like, yeah, bro, it was so many people that had the potential to make the league. So I've always played, bro. I've always been a shooter. I've always, you know, played the game well.
Sure.
But you know, it is what it is. But shoot, bro, y'all definitely tune in. I know y'all gonna watch the playback, but when we get guests like this on, y'all have to come in and show out, bro.
Yeah, we need y'all to show that love,
Y'all
man.
gotta show up and show out.
That love for sure.
See what I'm saying? And so you know, it is what it is. Learn next time. It and you know, I would ask more valuable questions. Now we still got some gems, but I
Right.
would have asked more valuable questions, you know, to get some answers
Sure.
that would have helped y'all. You feel what I'm saying? But hey, shout out to Aza, shout out to Jake, man. You know, appreciate y'all tuning in, man. But that's all we got for tonight. Tomorrow, we got D1 Spec.
Got Harold in the building, man.
We
My
got
dog Harold for
we
sure.
got Harold in the building, man. So make sure y'all tune in. And this is somebody who definitely built an empire. You know what I'm saying? He's pretty much in a lot of different states. So this is somebody that y'all will want to hear. You know, basically how he got started, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So don't miss out, bro. Don't miss out. All right, but we'll tap in with you.